Once, in a small Parisian apartment, lived Monsieur and Madame Aureille, a modest clerk and his penny-pinching wife. They had everything they needed, yet Madame Aureille's greatest joy was saving money, and her husband's greatest misery was asking for it. Monsieur Aureille had only one flaw in his otherwise well-disciplined married life. His office complained repeatedly about his umbrella. A miserable, faded skeleton of an umbrella that looked less like protection and more like a public embarrassment. The cloth sagged, the handle rattled, and one rib had a personality of its own. His colleagues laughed, his superiors frowned. Civilization itself seemed to beg him, buy a decent umbrella. So one day Monsieur Aureille made the deadly mistake of suggesting a new umbrella.
My dear, perhaps, just perhaps, we might buy a new umbrella?
Madame Aureille reacted as if he just proposed buying the Eiffel Tower.
12 francs for an umbrella? Are you planning to start a private airline next?
Monsieur Aureille immediately regretted evolving vocal cords. Next morning, Madame Aureille marched through Paris like a financial warlord. She inspected umbrellas with the intensity of a jeweler examining diamonds, tapping fabric, bending spokes, even squinting suspiciously at every stitch, until shopkeepers wept for mercy. Finally, she found it. A model that cost almost nothing, and looked at it. A masterpiece of mediocrity. She returned home with a triumphant smile that said, "I have beaten capitalism once again." Her husband, however, looked at it the way one might look at a coffin they're expected to share. Monsieur Aureille took the new umbrella to work the next day. It rained by the time he reached the office. So did the water through the holes in the umbrella. His colleagues roared with laughter. The chief himself, a man rarely amused by anything but his own power, laughed till his monocle nearly fell. That evening, Louis returned home drenched and broken. He gathered all the courage he had and declared that he is not going to office with that cheap umbrella. Madame Aureille froze. Not offended, not confused. Worse, financially alert. She could foresee herself doing something she dreaded the most. Spent. But Madame Aureille, who would rather be struck by lightning than spend a single extra franc, had a revelation. Why buy a new umbrella when you can force someone else to pay for it? A wicked spark flashed in her eyes. Insurance?
Yes, fire insurance.
If something tragic and profitable were to happen to the current umbrella, well, then the company would owe them a brand new, high-quality, respectable umbrella. For free.
Oh, I love that word so much.
Monsieur Aureille looked terrified. He knew that look. It is the look she had before she convinced him their wedding should have no flowers, no guests, no snacks. Think of the savings. Truly, a mastermind is at work. Next day, Madame Aureille marched into the insurance office like Napoleon entering a weakly defended country. The clerks looked up. They sensed danger. They could smell frugality in the air. She didn't sit. Queens do not sit. She launched straight into verbal combat. How their umbrella is almost burnt to ashes. How her poor, innocent husband nearly died protecting it. How she expects justice, compensation, and preferably an upgrade. By the time she finished, the clerks were pale, and one had quietly applied for transfer to the post office. Madame Aureille had casually turned a few candle burns into a national tragedy, complete with emotional pauses and moral outrage. The clerk politely, humbly, professionally explained.
Madame, the damage is minimal. We cannot replace an umbrella just because...
That's it. He shouldn't have said it. He has triggered level 3 emotional manipulation protocol. Madame Aureille gasps like she's been shot. Eyes widen, hand on heart. She invokes God, nation, sacrifice, middle-class suffering, and even her dead mother, who is possibly alive.
So, this is how you treat honest tax-paying citizens? My husband could have died, burnt alive, and now you refuse to help?
Everyone in the office felt guilty. Even the wall clock felt guilty. The clerk panicked. Papers flew. He ran to the higher authority. The manager arrived, a man who has processed more pointless complaints than there are stars in the sky. He took one look at Madame Auray and recognized the species.
Emotional middle-class martyr. High alert.
He politely inspected the umbrella, saw the tiny, ridiculous burn holes, saw Madame acting like it's Hiroshima. Understood instantly, this is not about money, this is about ego. So he began corporate damage control mode. Half apology, half consolation, 1/4 flattery, 1/4 sedative.
Madam, naturally, this is a rare case. We assure you, we will examine the matter with utmost priority.
Translation: please don't scream again. Madame softened slightly. The trap has worked. Negotiation begins. Madame Auray gave her final emotional push. Not with logic, not with facts, but with the deadliest weapon known to mankind.
But my husband is a clerk in the ministry.
As if that automatically makes her royalty. The manager immediately understood.
Government wife energy.
After a long exaggerated sigh, he gave his verdict.
Fine, madame. Our company is willing to replace the umbrella, but not fully new, only a repaired one.
Madame Auray beams like she just won a war. In her head, she had crushed them, crushed the system. In reality, she was getting a second-hand umbrella. But hey, emotionally, she had won. A week later, a large, majestic box arrived at the Auray household. Madame Auray opened it with the reverence of unboxing the Holy Grail. Inside lied the new umbrella. Except, it's not quite new. It's refurbished with a slightly crooked handle and a patch of mismatched fabric, and it smelled like someone used it to smoke cigars under the rain. But to Madame, it is God's justice delivered by La Poste. She calls her husband dramatically.
See, dear Louis, you doubted me, and yet here I am, victorious.
Madame, what is this?
Victory, that is what this is.
And so Madame Auray lived happily ever after, convinced she'd been rewarded for her prudence. In truth, life had merely surrendered to her persistence. After all, in Paris, as in heaven, even God gets tired of arguing with a determined and annoying wife. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel and press the like button for more such videos.